So I got a hard copy going because in the event the aliens come back and we get
Those
kicked
aliens,
off,
man.
they can come.
And then, like I said, for the day where they take me back.
That's where you actually come from. So we're there, good. Skibudan. And then we're here, and then a Scooby. Bop, Skibby, Brianna, Mitchell in the house. Let's go. Bam.
It's us.
Can I just start with Wowzer Bears? Looking beautiful. I don't get to usually see the whole ham. Usually because we're so cuddly wuddly, like a come over, coffee, cartoons,
cozy blanket.
Can I start this one a little bit different because it's this is short term. For those that don't know this woman, Brianna Mitchell, but I must start with how special you are to me, like I do with a lot of people. But I have something very special I want you to know. Now I kept my boo boo kind of. Remember my boo boos, and you were pivotal to my like rebirth mentally and physically, and I had no idea until I shared with you and you were so like my rebirth of coming out of that injury but sitting right there on that couch. Hey, let's not start. I told you what I say. See? But the rebirth, you were so real. Like you're always real. But the side I saw of you that time, because you didn't fluff it. You were very real. It was like kind of hurtful. Good. Like, you know what I mean? Because you weren't like, oh, it's going to get better. You're like, yo, this shit sucks. This is what happens. This is what you're going to need to do. And you're going to need and you didn't say it, but it was just so amazing to see how, I don't know. I love you. I love you. And you're so real. And for those that don't know this woman, I hope this show today resonates with you because you are very important to me. And I admire your yeah.
I admire you.
God, I love you.
Oh, and your Rico Suave vibes with your long hair are just, I'm distracted. When you talk, they're just bouncing. And I'm like, yes, you're pretty.
Well, thank you. There's debate if I should. Babe uses this duck butt term. She's okay with it, though. But I don't know if I'm supposed to.
Yeah. I mean, she's the professional, right?
I know, but she wants it. So I'm going with her.
I love it.
But this is about you. And I want to, can we start like for those, because we've got like a decade plus.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
I was talking with someone the other day that has a similar start date of you and I. And it's funny because this adulting world, everything's 5 years for me, right? Like, oh, about 5 years ago.
Right.
No, it's like decade plus. Bri moves to, can we, for those that don't know, let's take a Chappelle.
Okay.
Bri moves to Flagler or Palm Coast. What was take it from the top?
Time?
Yeah, the very first time.
First time, graduate college. So 2014, May.
Graduates from?
West Virginia University. Came here and my family had lived here at the time for, I don't know, like 2 years. So they were also still really fresh. They'd been here for about 2 years. And I could feel that the rest of my family were from the Northeast. And all of my family from all over the East Coast were trickling their way down. They were like, what is this vacation land? What is this waiting room to heaven? We are on our way. And so when I graduated, I came here. That's when I met you. Was I think that summer.
Had to have been
that fresh summer.
Adam was our mediator, right? Because I just went to his house one day and you were watching soccer. And I was like, I love this. Who is this girl watching?
Yeah, the first time we met was just us three too. Well, and the cat Jack. We can't forget him.
Jack is still alive, I think.
He's still doing the thing?
I think I have to follow up with Adam.
Is he an alley cat or a home cat?
He's both. He's got two.
So
I remember I walked into Adam's man cave and shaboom, here's this beautiful girl on the couch watching. And what I loved about you is you weren't watching it to watch the boy.
Right.
You were like, could you please move? Yeah. Like game on. And I was like, what? I love you. And then shaboom. Can you give me an idea? What was that year? You said your stamp was what? Like
2014.
Yeah.
So we're not at a decade yet.
We're not.
No,
we're almost there.
I mean, if we want to round up.
I like rounding up.
Me too.
When it's a bit better. Like I round down now because I'm 30.
Yep. I'm 25.
So, all right. 2014, boom, couch, Adam, Scott Beamer.
Skibbity bop.
Boots, boom. At that time now, you're just, are you nomadic at that point? Meaning like you didn't really have, like you weren't with a boy or anything right then and there, right? You were
Yeah.
just
I actually like dated the same guy all through college, basically, with
okay.
little flings throughout because college life. I mean,
Correct.
And but we broke up right when school ended. I
Okay.
think we were like, okay, we're both leaving this place. What's next? We're not going to make
See
the
you when I
long
see you.
distance effort. Yeah. So that's why I came to Florida. And I was super nomadic. I actually, after being here for just a month or two, moved into a fifth wheel in a campground. AC broke for
I didn't
like
know
a
about all
month.
this.
Yeah.
For
Mhm.
Chappelle.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. So I lived fifth wheel in a campground, loved it.
Right.
Nature.
That's your style.
Me and my dog, John Denver.
Did I ever meet John Denver?
You had to have.
I had to.
Because I would like take him out like randomly.
He was
and
your
stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
10 out of 10, good boy.
John Denver. What
Good
a name.
Sunshine on my shoulders.
What about those songs he did? All right, let's not get lost. This is sorry, folks. We're hanging out. It is Wednesday too. So now, when you let Chance, I know
he's like, you said good boy.
He said, I'm a good boy too. So now, when you were doing these, because I remember you here, but then you wouldn't be here. So this is why I have these remnants of memories of like. So where do we go? I don't want to miss anything, but when did we leave to the Cali land? Are we?
We left in 2016.
Shortly there. Oh, so it's shortly thereafter. Here, you kind of like replant some, like you kind of, and you're just boom, boom. Cali's calling you. We talk about that. Because you had a little gig out there.
Yeah, I had a gig. Well, since I was a little kid, I grew up in Delaware, which is this big. You want a trip to Delaware? So I always talked about, I'm moving to California. I'd get sassy with my parents and be like, whatever, I'm moving to California.
Right.
I had to do it.
Got to do it.
You talk about it for so long. You got to do it.
Do it.
So I was selling dog shampoo for a company that's local to here. Loved that job so much. And that's what brought me out to California originally. I would travel out there because we did a lot of sales out there. We had a lot of clients. And I fell in love with the area. I had a friend out there from college.
What part of Cali were you? I forget you.
I moved to Southern California, the South Bay, Redondo Beach. So it's like 7 miles south of LAX, about 22 miles south of downtown LA, which is a ridiculous hour and 15 to an hour and a half drive.
Right.
Make no sense.
No sense.
No sense, but I loved my California dance. That was a good 4.5, almost 5 years.
Is this where Bri finds? I feel like my assumption of you is safe to say that you've always. I mean, I know we've all as humans, but you have a very good spirit about you that I feel like you know who you are. Was Cali a big part of that part of your life, not just geographically, but is that where you started to kind of like? Because how old were you then? I mean, think about you're starting your adulting.
I think I was like 23.
And you're solo, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is really healthy for all humans at some point, especially when they're younger, to isolate.
Right.
Not from people, but from familiarity.
Yes.
So you're doing that. You go there. What at that time was your family very? Was it friends and family in general? Were they supportive of this, or they're like, "You're crazy"? Okay.
Yeah. You know what? I have to say, families are a lot of things, but I can't think of a single thing I've ever done that my family didn't support.
It's awesome.
Other than maybe getting a dog too early in college. They were like, "Really? You're going to do that?"
Was that the John Denver?
Yes. But then when I bring John Denver home, who's cuddling with him on the couch?
Bring him over.
So
these were big years for you.
Big years, being away from family. I went away for college, but still they were just a quick car ride away. Being on the other coast and another time zone. That'll disconnect you real quick. My family wants to call me on their way to work. When they wake up, I'm like, "Oh, no, ma'am, I'm sleeping."
You're 3 hours in the past. Yeah. We're in the future over here.
And also, I loved when we would have conversations in California and we'd be wrapping up and you'd be here in Florida and you'd say, "Okay, do you want to know what the future's like? I've got little tips for you from the future."
Here's what will be happening. Here are the lottery numbers. I still, to this day, can make pretend I'm a kid and it makes sense, but it's still so funny to me when I have friends that are on that side or any part of it, especially when they're like, I got my cousins in I think Japan or somewhere crazy where it's like big time. Like he's eating breakfast and I'm not up, like yet.
Right.
So,
right.
but so here you are. You do 5 years out there. I forgot the
It's
exact.
like 4 and some change. We're rounding.
Did
up
you
today,
come
right?
back a couple times though, or was that? Did you?
I would come back to visit.
But they were very surgical. They weren't like you weren't here for long periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
So now here we are. We're in Cali. And what's bringing you back to this land? What's happening? Good, bad, or indifferent? Is there why did we end up coming back to the? Was it just by consequence of I did it, I enjoyed it, or did we want to like? What was your?
Well, family really brought me back. So I was never that kind of girl that got homesick. I always missed my family, but I always felt like it was a healthy amount of miss. I had made my new chosen family. I was in a relationship. I had a sweet, sweet, dear to me best friend there. I felt very at home, but you can't ever come home enough. No one can afford to come home enough,
right.
And so then pandemic happened. And we won't get too much into that if you don't want, but between the two coasts, it was so different. And where I lived in California, I did live in a home by myself. Everything was on lockdown. I had friends that I would see, but the whole culture of where I lived was completely different.
Right.
I lived less than a block from the ocean and just like you are now, so close. And the beaches were closed. I couldn't touch the sand. I couldn't be in the water.
Right.
So then I came here to visit just for a friend's birthday. And I was only going to come for about a month because why not? I wasn't working.
Right.
Everything was shut down there. I could come here. It was September, my favorite month in Florida. And I got here and I was like, no, I'm coming back.
I want to be home.
This is nice. I want to be home. My priorities had shifted. I can't pinpoint exactly what it was, but there was just something in me that was like, it's time to come back.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like out of all the years I've known you, one of the ways one of the many things I would describe about you is that I don't think you sit in discomfort for too long. Figuratively or literally. I love that. Is that fair?
I think so, yes. But that also kind of weighs on something that I'm constantly working on. And that's something I've picked up from my yoga world is finding comfort within the discomfort. And that's a huge thing. If we want to relate it to stretching, it's like, you're reaching forward and stretching your hamstring and you hit that ping of ouch. And you got to breathe through it and sink deeper into the ouch to really make a difference in your life. I
can feel it by you just saying it.
Yeah, right. Your legs are tightening up. They're no.
But that's one of those characteristics about you and reflects that tenacity of who you are that I love very, very much. But once again, reiterating the fact that you're not fluffy. You don't fluff a lot of shit. You love, but I like that you're lean with the way you're lean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm looking at that couch. Those were the worst at this point. And at that point in my life were the worst. That was the worst time of my life, being broken and not having, not knowing what was going to happen and having you literally by my side with the broken boo-boo with the scars to show. I was like, if she could do it, I could do it. Not because but I'm like, you were so helpful.
Build each other up.
But once again, you weren't like, and the gumdrops fall from the skies at noon tomorrow. You're like, yo, this shit sucks.
Life is not a bumper sticker.
No.
Sure ain't.
And God, it's good. But I'm glad that you're back. And I don't want to miss anything chronologically. But before I do forget, I'm so proud of you and congratulations on your. Can we say everything?
Yeah.
It's because you're teaching at One Love.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy for you. I knew that, not to be anticlimactic, but the day that you were going for your thingy, I knew you were going to get it. Not because, I know you were nerved and we should be. And I know that you didn't go in like, shooting trays like Michael Jordan. I know you did. But in your brain, you're like, I got to do this. But when I followed up with you that day, I had no doubt it's a beautiful thing. And I think, has Camille done your class yet already?
Yeah.
Okay.
She came to my first one.
She loved it. Because I remember her saying that it's your very first one. So how's that going? Are you?
So good. I got another class. Jillian gave me another class. So that's good. If you're listening, Jillian, give me a third.
A fourth.
No, but it feels so good to practice inside of four walls with people again. I never stopped teaching. I've always been teaching online, which I started that before the pandemic happened, teaching online, just slightly before everything shut down. So I was so lucky to kind of be ahead of the curve. And so figuring out the
Right.
Zoom woes and everything with everybody.
Right.
But I've had this national community or international
Yeah.
community. I've taught people in the Philippines all over the place through this online platform. It's been amazing. And now to be in the walls again, sweating with other people, touching other people, you know, it's the best feeling.
I know
It's
everyone's got
a
their
rush.
flavor, but of course I'm biased and I love Me the One Love. I
Mhm.
love Jillian and Camille's we've known of Jillian for years and years.
Yeah.
Camille, when she was at Anytime Fitness back in the day, that she was a customer there, and
Oh, love that.
she was always the beautiful girl in the corner that all the guys were like, because she's so beautiful, but very there to do her job, and everyone was always like, who is this?
Mhm.
And it's amazing to see her go into her, like when she opened, and I was super blessed enough to do her little interneting, but I'm breaking the chronological because we haven't even talked for a minute. Like caught up.
Yeah.
Where's Bri right now? Are we in a good season?
I'm on one of my besties' chairs. Oh, but yes, we're in a great season. We are coming out of my birthday season, Libra season. So now I feel very sleepy because there's so much social when it comes to your birthday. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling grounded. I'm feeling solid. I love it here. And, you know, I was thinking back to what you had just said about whenever I'm uncomfortable, I don't stay in that uncomfortable place long. To be honest, I've been so uncomfortable this last year that I've been here. I have a storage unit still in LA that's monthly pinging me, you know, like, give me more, give me more. And I'm not ready to let go of it yet. And so I guess because I'm kind of split between two coasts, that just makes you a little bit split. But when it comes to me and who I am, I'm very grounded and I'm here in the moment, no matter where I'm at.
That's interesting that you say that, because I don't know if you saw recently on TikTok. I think it was a hoax, but there was a tsunami scare, and maybe there is one. Have you seen this?
No, I don't have TikTok.
Oh, interesting. So there's a tsunami scare, like every couple of scrolls. There's this guy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. There's a place, the Canary Islands. Did I kick you? I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I like those shoes, by the way.
Thank you. I almost wear sneakers, but I know you don't like sneakers.
No sneaks. What are we doing? Playing basketball over here? So shooting trays. So the Canary Islands, Las Palmas, volcano, Chapam, and there's these written reports about when that time came, there'd be tsunamis, et cetera, et cetera. So we were all supposed to be underwater like yesterday at noon. I'm not belittling the science. It's just I can't seem to back anything up. And Camille, and like the other day, she's like, "Look at me!" Like, and I'm like, I can't. I've already heard about it. Looked, I can't seem to find anything. And there's like a few resources I belong to that if they're not saying it, I'm not. Now, granted, I could be stunad, but point is though, I thought, wow, if there really was one, I am so happy that I really don't have much to gather outside of humans, poops, and maybe a few things. But I thought, oh my God, you know me, but I'm still packed up from like 3 hurricanes ago in bins. And I was thinking about this just recently. I thought if I had to, because I use the analogy of a tsunami a lot with why I'm still so thankful that I can run to some degree. That's why I like our soccer community or athletes in general, that if we had to outrun a disaster or a bear, we're going to make it, hopefully. And I thought, I really don't have much, but I'm in this weird position where the internet is really fucking with me lately.
Okay.
I'm kissing the 40, and there's this, it happens, and I can admit it. I think other people try to like preach against it now, like more is bad, you know, like less is better. But like I'm kissing 40, and like, yeah, I would like a mega yacht, 100%. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I wouldn't mind doing the show on a mega yacht. I'm not gonna lie and say that I wouldn't. It doesn't ruin the fact that I'm doing it here. I'm happy. I'm comfortable. I'm very happy to have this, but I don't have a mega yacht. And there's that little like thing in me that's like, when you're going to get it. And then I'm like, stop saying that.
Right.
And I've suppressed that before. We've all had that, especially as youths when we were growing up who didn't want to be a millionaire by 30. Some of us, right? Like,
playing those kid games,
right?
You know,
you got to be rich, you got to be mega yacht. But my point is, are you at a position where you've contemplated just like what's I don't want to. What's in the storage unit? Is it sentimental stuff?
Nothing important at
Isn't
this
it
point.
crazy?
It's ridiculous. But there's tchotchkes, there's some photos. I think my birth certificate is there.
There's some important things.
There's some things that can, in the long run, I'll be replaced. I might have to go wait in a whatever office for 2 hours to get my birth certificate, but I could go get another one. I'm pretty sure I have done that already. But the one item that's coming to mind that I need to get from this storage unit, well, 2 items are my aunt's white leather little dress that laces up the back and her matching fringe, big like shoulder white
pads,
leather, like huge
Power
fringe,
Ranger shoulder pads.
Yeah, jacket to go.
Gotta get that.
Yeah,
we have this in common because you want to. For those that don't know you, one of the very many characteristic traits I love about you is you are a photo sniper.
I do. I love me a candy.
You are a photo sniper. And for a minute there, you were photo thing.
Oh, yeah.
The thing.
The Polaroids. I was taking them everywhere. Very expensive habit.
Oh, I'm sure. Because I remember I still have mine. But
yeah.
And you were like this big camera, like this big. No, I'm just kidding.
Hold on, I've got to get to my camera.
So true. And I remember you were like, here. And I was like, what? And at first, not that I didn't value that, but I was like, what am I going to do with this? So I put up there. Now, every time I go in the fridge, it's been there since that time. I think we're in this generation that physical photos I've lost. They're gone. Like those. And I can name a few people that I know recently got rid of them. And I'm like, that's to me, even if you digitize them,
right?
How often do you go scrolling through your iPhotos on your computer or on your phone? Rarely. And if you do, you can't find the one you want anyway. It's like, I swear I took this one of a dolphin the other day. And then you like see the one you took with you're like, oh, what? You ever retake a photo that you have just so that it's freshly on your iPhoto? I've been doing that.
Okay. The ones that I know I need to have, I favorite. So like I used to have a pet chicken.
That's smart.
And people are,
they
want to see when I lived in West Virginia. People want to see a picture of the chicken. So I've got pictures of Max in my favorites so that I can scroll right to them. I was just going to
say, what's his name? I know you have
Maximilian.
Was it a hen?
He was a rooster.
Oh.
He was like a little rooster chick. Wow. He was all white, big red.
You would have a.
Yeah, I got him when he was 11 days old.
And you raised this man.
I sure did.
Did
Took him to class?
Did he go to chicken heaven or did you have to?
He made his way to chicken heaven.
How long do chickens they go? They're birds. Birds are notorious for living.
They should last much longer. Mine, on the other hand, only lasted about 2.5, almost 3 years. He passed away in a very, very hot heat wave of a summer in Delaware. But my chicken was obese because I learned as I went, but I fed him the food that I got for free from the university where I worked, which is like production food.
Yeah.
So it makes their breast tissue big because Americans love their cheap, big breast meat. And so he was giant and just his little heart couldn't withstand his big fat boy body. So he would love to play outside with my dog and he died doing what he loved.
That's actually,
running around.
I've watched a documentary about that. That's actually a real thing. Most of our poultry and stuff dies so fast because we're
and a lot of poultry, they are lacking a lot of things like lysine in their diet and all that, and their legs are almost like noodles, like wet spaghetti.
They can't support themselves.
They can't stand up. They can get up and like walk and plop. I mean, my chicken never got to that point, but
Maximilian,
he was a good
guy. I had a friend, rest in peace, named Maximilian. Only one. I never met too many. Like we would actually address him. That was his parents would. It was beautiful. This storage unit where I find this to be fascinating because it correlates so figuratively with life too. What are we gonna do if you don't mind me asking? Like, what do we? It's got to be.
Yeah. So I have had a storage unit for about 2.5 years because I moved a lot in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Because I was in a relationship for a long time. And then when we split up, I had a whole house of things. We had a life together. Right. And so I was like, you don't get to use these things for your next phase of life. I take all these things. You don't make memories with someone else with these things. So I took them all, put them in a storage unit. They sat there for 2 months. And then I got rid of all of those things because I was like,
This
I don't want to make
utility
memories.
stuff.
Yeah.
Couches.
Like, I don't
this,
want
that.
to make memories with this coffee table. I don't
Correct.
want to like sip coffee with someone else here. I'll take it to Goodwill and let a new family
Right.
have it. So I got it as kind of like a way to hold on to something. And then I let go. And then I was moving around a lot, which was super fun. And I had to keep my storage unit because I was moving around from furnished homes.
Right.
And then when I came here, you know, I've got 2 totes of t-shirts that I'm holding on to make a quilt out of. Like there's everything from my youth soccer t-shirts to Mezzaluna Pizzeria t-shirts that
The
I want to.
OGs, those are probably worth money.
The OG
Mikey Jr. is right now like, wait a minute. Wow.
Yeah. So things I want to make a quilt out of. Maybe one day I will.
So there's a lot of I'm gonnas in there.
Yeah. And so now I've told myself I've been here. I've lived here for what will be a year in December. And I can't go that much into next year without getting those things. So I want to make a fun trip out of it. Fly to Los Angeles, see my loves, hug, kiss, cuddle on couch with my babes, then go through my storage unit. What do I actually need?
What do we need?
And then make a fun trip back out of it. Rent an SUV.
Do you think you'll need a will you need a U-Haul depending on if you
No, it's not.
You're going to be able to lean out.
I tell you what, it is not even that much.
It's not that much
My
stuff.
storage unit, it's a small one, the smallest kind that you can get.
Right.
It's not even halfway full.
So go out there. Those are those things that we dread doing, though.
Mm-hmm.
This like cleansing of, I have a closet that you can't. Well, I only have one closet. Well, I have the back closet, but that's closed. I have like one closet for storage. If you open it, the aliens and it comes, things come darting out at you. It's this closet of death. And it's funny because Camille will say to me like, "Oh, do we have a drill?" And I'm like, you enter in your own risk. Yeah. Got to go in there. So I know that's going to be a big moment. It's a big, especially because I am a sentimental hooer. Like I love things that don't matter. Like this was my grandfather. I still have. It's funny. I have my grandfather's chair in a buddy of mine's. Shout out to him for letting me. It's in his storage. He owns his storage complex.
Oh, okay.
And I don't have it just the chair in one unit.
Right.
It's in one of his that he has, and he's been so good since the last time that we had to evacuate for like the potential hurricane. It's there, and I've been thinking to myself, just get rid of it. And he may have actually. There's this part of me that's almost like, did you? Because
but are you afraid to ask?
Yeah, because I feel like when people do things like that, you know me well enough to where like it's not just about money, but like to me, I feel like I owe you for what you've done. Like you've given me this opportunity. And the chair is older than me. I remember sitting on it when I was a kid. I can close my eyes and feel the fabric right now. I can smell it. So this chair means the world to me, and it's sitting in it. But does it?
Right. I mean,
it's so weird. We're humans. We are very odd, but not everyone is sentimental. Some people, my grandmother, I love her so much. And she's still sound mind, sound body. And she is like, get out, just throw it out, throw it out. Mm-hmm. And to me, I'm like, it's worth billions of dollars. Not because it is, but to me, I'm like, you got rid of the raisin. You know, you ever seen those raisins dance back in the day?
Yeah.
She used to have them on the call. Just my point is to her, she like, we do have one though, that's on the fridge. And I'm like, Nona, if you get rid of this, we're done. Like I am not your grandfather's son anymore. So, but there are some people that really, and I almost admire that, but you're like, we have that common trait about like if today were my last day and I probably gave this to you, probably like, do not touch this.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
I'm that same way, which by the way, Brandon Brown gave me this cup. It's a very special cup to me. Shout out to
Brandon Brown.
Love him. Dr. Brown.
Doctor.
Sorry.
Doctor.
But so what a beautiful thing to admit and be vulnerable that you have had a year of discomfort. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And what would you say has been your secret recipe of finding peace in your moments of discomfort?
Trust. Trusting who I am. You know, if there was something that I wanted to do, I would have done it. I've done so much already. If I really wanted it, I'd have it. If I wanted to be there, I'd be there. I'm just trusting that I'm here because I chose it and I want to be here. And, and everything always falls into place. No matter, everyone has a different walk of life, but for me, no matter what my stress is, whether it was money, friends, lovers, it all always works out. Even though a few minutes ago I said life ain't a bumper sticker, that it always does settle eventually. And the more you fuss, the more you kick up the dust, and then you can't figure stuff out. So you can't fuss when you're uncomfortable. You just have to let the dust settle.
I've never thought about this analogy, but it's probably I can be very uncomfortable too and admit it. It's like being in breaking ice. The more it breaks, you're supposed to. My brother fell on ice once. Oh. I don't tell the story very often because it's weird. I don't even know if I recollect it because it was when I was a kid.
And you were still up north?
And I feel like I turned into a superhero. But it was a very trying period of like a moment. I remember like it was yesterday. We were visiting. We used to go to Massachusetts 2 to 3 times a year. And it's weird getting older because you look back on those. And I remember being in adolescence and I would tell people like, you don't go to Massachusetts. Like I thought that was like the only place outside of like where else do you go?
You don't go to Cape? It's wicked nice up there.
It's wicked. So we used to go to Massachusetts 2 to 3 times a year because that's where I'm from. And we were visiting Vermont in the wintertime. We used to visit spring and winter, but this particular trip, we're probably kissing. We're double digits, but still, look at this one trying to creep. Sir.
He's like, give me a chance.
Sir. No.
One shooty bop. Okay, now you go lay.
Hey, lay down. Be a good boy. I let you out. Can't ruin it. He's like, listen, I got something to say. Sir, please. We're live. People. I still have people that write sometimes. They're like, you're not live.
Oh.
People always got to be so. I don't know who they are.
You don't please everybody.
I know.
You know.
I know everybody. I know everybody doesn't like me. It's okay, people. I guess some people are like, I don't like you. I'm like, I know. They don't say that verbatim.
I'm just proud you have a shirt on.
Yeah, you're lucky to see, and it's not because I don't have a raging 6-pack. Sometimes people are like, because I did my videos with no shirts, and I think they honestly think that I'm that chauvinist. Like I'm the most like I don't have. You're lucky I don't actually, because I saw a dude today that looks like the guy who's Waterman, Aquaman.
Oh, yeah, Momoa.
Momo, whatever his name is.
Jason.
Jason Momoa. I love that you say like he was over last night. He's actually helped me clear my storage area. Chance.
I love you.
What is this romance, sir?
This little pause.
Grasping at you.
Oh, that's like a horror film. No.
So we're in Vermont. I'm a little boy. It's getting cold too. It is cold, but it's getting dark. And we're playing on a pond like knuckleheads. My brother falls through the ice.
That's terrifying.
And there used to be a dog out there, very storybook type of dog. Golden Retriever, would stick by your side, no leash. This was before electric things, was just there. His name was Rudy. I can remember like it was yesterday. It's funny I haven't talked about Rudy, and Rudy was a golden retriever. It was a farm too. So we're on the farm. So that those that don't know farms, it was like from here to the front door was
miles.
Was this big in your eyes, so you know it's far. So when my brother falls through the ice, shabam, and I'm like, and of course I'm the oldest of 3. Me being the third, it's my fault. I'm in trouble.
You're responsible.
I'm gonna say selfishly, I'm worried about his well-being, but I'm like, I gotta get him home.
Yeah,
I can't go home.
Trouble.
Michael died.
I left Michael in the ice.
He didn't make it. I'm hungry. Like this is my responsibility. I'm in big trouble. So he's dying. He's in the ice, and then I'm realizing, I don't know at the time, but like what a moment in my life, what a change of
adrenaline kick in.
Oh, everything kicked in. I got him. We both were covered. We're like wet. I had to get into the water, and it was incredible. We were little kids. And then the trek back to the farm, of course, there's like, I'm not a parent, but there was this sense of, you as a kid, I remember, I used to get in those predicaments a lot. There was this, you want to be like, we made it. We're alive. We were dying. I remember being so cold, we're about to die. And they're like, instead, I don't know if it's an Italian thing, but you ever seen Sebastian on the Netflix or like the stand-up comedian? He's hilarious. One of the things I find funny is that a lot of these jokes correlate with me because I'm Italian. So you would think this family would be like, what happened? Are you okay? It was like, what is wrong with
Yeah,
you?
in
Like
trouble.
there wasn't a tell me more. Like, are you okay? It was and I remember they stripped us and our clothes. They put them on the front. They didn't have heat. It was a stove. So we had to sit by the stove. But I remember that was a very trying period, but it correlates, it triggered when you're not comfortable. Don't be a shaker.
Yeah.
It's hard though.
Huge. I'm so glad you saved him.
I'm so glad that you
Round of
find comfort in your discomfort. I didn't even know I was going to say that today. I love you.
I love you. We
It's
bring it out in each other.
Is that what it is? Is that why we're
good with being vulnerable with each other?
You know what? Can I tell you more about why I love you?
Yeah.
So I love one of the most worst times of being near you is when you're like servicing people's like
at work.
Believe it. Yeah.
Okay.
Even if it's not work, when you're in group, you're like me, where like you can roll up with people. And I know that a lot of people don't like this about, I'll say us. Mm-hmm. We roll up to a scene, whether it's debaucherous or not, and those that we're with become like we'll be right back.
Yeah.
And we might not even leave literally. We might not leave 5 feet. We're just
turn.
And one thing that you have is you have these amazing goggles that you can identify those that are just, and nobody's less or best. It's just, you can identify humans that just need to be heard. Mm. And there's times where we've been out and you'll just go like, excuse me. And I like see you and I'm like, look at her go. And I already know what you're going to do. Because there's like a light on that person. Mm-hmm. And it does, once again, this doesn't mean that person's like less of a human being. Like, oh, look at she's going to talk to the idiot. No. If anything, maybe you're going to learn something.
Yeah.
But the love that you give to people, I know it's not a crowd favorite. Like, meaning that there's some people I know that they say it to me. Like, I hate going out with you because I go out with you and then you don't even like talk with me. And I'm like, well, I know. But it's we're so easily branded as codependent or the life of the party or you got to be the center of attention. But the irony is like, no. That dude over there is like sitting by himself.
Right.
And it's not that I'm trying to fix the world, man. Like I don't have I don't have the serum to fix AIDS or the fucking dolphins or the whales. I don't. But when I see somebody uncomfortable in a situation that they're supposed to be, you have that disease that I do.
Yeah, we do.
Do you like that disease?
I do. It makes me me. I can meet someone and I don't know if I have something on my forehead that I can't read that just is like, tell me your whole life story. It doesn't matter if I'm in the drive-through at a coffee place, whoever it is that I'm meeting, having that connection with, they love opening up.
Stop.
And I love being that soundboard, that safe space for people. I love knowing that my energy makes them feel okay to be who they are.
You want to know why I think that your forehead says it? I know that you wouldn't change it for the world, nor would I. It's because we ask. Because I've had some people sometimes say, and this isn't like 5 times in a row, like in a day. This is spread out and cumulatively. People sometimes are like, I wish people talk to me the way they talk to you. And those that are being sincere and not mocking me or something, and they'll say like, what, how can I? And I go, just ask. Wait long enough to hear what they say.
And when they're talking to you, listen to what they're saying instead of thinking of your response. Stop being so selfish with the words, with the space, with everything. Make it actually about that person. That was something I was nervous for today. I was like, he's going to be talking and I'm going to be so excited. I'm going to want to talk. But we're in the kind of space where we hear each other. We wait and then we respond. But
you do that. The show is one thing, but you do that. And that's part of my example too. I'm willing. It's hard though, because I can see and hear those that, for instance, let's say I was a normal human, meaning that when I say normal, I mean like a lot of us as humans are just bred with that high fructose corn syrup way of thinking. It's me, it's mine, fast now. So let's just say I go to see you at work and I'm there and you don't address me for 15 minutes. Let's just say you've addressed me customer wise.
Right.
I'm sipping my drink, but I haven't gotten my
Your
hug,
love.
my where are you? Like, and let's just say I'm not, and now I allow that to cause discord. My point is that I love that you give the love and the attention to those, and then I'm using a work setting because it doesn't matter about the work. I see this in your real life. It's hard though. It's not a crowd favorite. And that happens to me all the time. And I value and I love that about you. But I know that it probably, it tests probably a lot of your friendships, relationships, families, etc. And we share that in common. And everyone has the character. Everyone's been in our position.
Right.
Everyone's been somewhere where we're not the only benevolent human beings. We're not sipping the only cup that like makes us talk to people that may be down in the pits. It's just, we do it a lot.
Yeah.
I can't not have a good, like, for instance, today I'm going to go, I think you're coming with me, but we're going to go play today. And when I go out and I'm there, I can see someone and I'll look at you and you just,
we already know.
And I know that you're going to go, or I'm going to go,
or we go together.
But there's a lot of, let me flip the script though. And I'm in this like polite conflict with my own life. There are those human beings out there that go, fuck it. Why? I'm doing me. And I admire that too. Because maybe they're in their own moment and they need this moment. They don't have, I don't think you and I put a timer on those things or people that need it.
That's
which
true.
Sometimes isn't healthy.
Oh yeah. Sometimes you're doing the step back.
Right.
And you're like, okay, I need me back now. And they're still going. But then doesn't that make you think too, they don't get this somewhere else, or at least in this moment in their time, they're not receiving this attention where they need it. So they're sucking it out of me.
But I feel like now let me just, there's those that don't. They do, but maybe they're not in that moment. And I give them credit too, because I use this analogy a lot, but you got to put your oxygen on first. And then, and to the average human, to this day, I'm not even kidding you. The average airplane is 100 plus people, give or take. And that's a domestic flight. They say it. And I swear, if someone would actually go, okay, time out. What did it just say? People would be like, I got to help them first. Like, no.
Yourself.
We are programmed to think, help. Really, one thing that is a beautiful innate characteristic about humans is that rubbernecking is really just an extension to me of wanting to help. I think about all the time, who hasn't seen an accident? Hopefully not that many, but you've seen an accident, whether grand or small, and your first response is to be the first response. Like you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like someone fell on their bike in front of me the other day. Oh. No joke. I actually just thought about that. It was Halloween night. I pulled over on the scooter and I stopped, and someone was leaving an establishment and literally like face plants in the ground. Yeah. Now he was inebriated, but it's okay to me. I wasn't like, oh, I was like, oh shit. Like, are you good? Are you this or that? And he was so excited that like I cared. Yeah. Because I could tell the guy was not in a position of probably being loved on a lot. I could tell. But
I mean, people go to those establishments for two things: celebratory or sadness.
You just opened up the whole Pandora's box, woman.
We've talked about that a lot.
A lot.
And, even like analyzing who we're around. Yeah. But, what you were saying about the people who are either like us and reach out to the one who needs the love in the room, or the ones that can maybe acknowledge it and decide, I'm going to focus on me, my group of people. I think that's just two different ways of living in the present moment.
Right.
We just view the present moment differently. Like, it's not saying that one lens is more narrow than the other. It's just a different lens, a different way of being in the moment. I love it.
I
As
respect
long as you're being authentic.
authenticity, but also being comfortable in uncomfortability.
Yeah.
You know, I will say, because I get this once again, not like 10 times in one day, but over the span of a period of time, I do have people like, why do you care? Why do you even care? Like, those that may know how often my phone rings and they know how much time I spend with people on the phone to talk with them, etc. I go, believe it or not to sound selfish, but it actually feeds me. I've told you that many times. When you share with me, we've been on the phone for hours at a time. When you share with me your life, good, bad, or indifferent, it's feeding me. I'm not going to sit there and play Mr. Saving the World. Like, it helps me.
Yeah.
I like when people share with me, even though your instances and nuances have nothing to do with me. You know, like, I don't have a storage unit in California, but like, when you share that, it makes me recollect and go, I have a thing that I should probably evaluate. And it helps me. And to me, I'm like, you ever see like a crab or a shrimp eat? I just like try to learn, like, that I can extract and put into my own DNA and go, it'd be smart for me to evaluate. So
I love that.
Yeah, well, but you're just like that. And I think that's probably that paradigm shift of why I have, like, for instance, today's Champions League. To me, it's the best thing in the world. I'm going to watch the Champions League, and I'm going to be there. And I had an instance yesterday where I had kind of paused that moment of euphoria because life was happening. And I put the person in the situation first. I didn't go, excuse me.
Right.
I thought to myself, this is more important for them. Not even me. Well, it ends up being for me,
right,
because what they're sharing is it's the nectar, you know. But you got it. Like, I learned so much from you. I bet you did something to the internet when I said that you were coming on. I always have a lot of people, when I say I'm having someone on, it reminds them that the show's here, and then can I come on, this, that, and the other. You like did something to the internet.
Did I pull a Kim Kardashian? Did I break the internet?
You were like, I promoted you were coming on, and it's a beautiful thing. I've had more people recently be like, I want to come on now too. It's beautiful.
I love that.
And I think it has a lot to do with who you are and your exposures and your network and how much you're loved. You are highly loved.
Thank you. You're highly loved.
Can we talk about your family for a minute?
Yeah. God. Oh, you love my family so much. They love you.
So remember the day you had asked me to go to the family thing?
Yeah.
I don't like to leave my island. You're like, I got a thing. You want to go? And I'm like, what's this thing?
Okay, well, let's rewind here for a minute. We were together, and I had to leave you to go to my thing, and you weren't ready for me to leave.
I was not.
So you had to come with. I always want you at every family event with me, but
it was my first.
Yeah.
And remember, we went to the store, got all our toys.
We love doing that.
And went to the store, we got all our toys. We go there, and your family, even though I can't recite their names, I know I can. And your grandfather
from Guam, pop up from Guam. Yep.
I know he'll never watch this, but I love you. And I love that. For those that are listening, and there's no like any kind of like, they're just, what's going on? This is what you're gonna get. I go to this house, and it is like a TV show. Just him. He's on the couch. He's got his cooler. What a man.
The lunch size cooler.
Couple beers.
6-pack fits it snug.
But I had already went over the like on a flight itinerary, like who drinks what. So you had said that. So I brought a lot of things that I thought people would enjoy, and I knew what he wants. So I walked in, and immediately it's in my character to always address the senior of the situation.
Very Italian of you.
So I identify him. There he is. Sitting on his chair. His cooler with the worst attitude in the world. Loved it. And immediately I know the social dichotomy. I'm this boy. Right. Who's this boy? They don't know yet. So I've got to do a lot of I got to let them know that, yes, I'm her fake boyfriend, but I'm not the real.
Right.
She's still available, but not in the. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
So I could tell. I go in. He's like, who's this guy? He's not doing all these mannerisms, you know that. For those that are listening,
he's just like, if anything's moving, it's just his heels.
That's it.
So that he's rocking on the chair.
Stoic.
Speaking of heels, I would love to point out the fact that he's a big golfer and he's very tan and he wears flip-flops. And this man legit looks like he's had a foot transplant. I say that because when I tease his tan line, he says, "What? I just got a foot transplant. I think it looks real great."
I remember that. We're talking like
white
shin
like
high.
this microphone, his feet all the way to like where a tube sock would be, and then
no shame.
No shame. No. And he tans well. He moved
does.
Here from Guam. He's a very tan man, but those feet.
He don't care. No shame. But getting to know your family in that setting one by one, mm-hmm. I do believe, and I don't want to be like, he loved me, but I think he loved. By the time I left, he was like, and I wasn't doing any kind of act. It was just treating him the way I would treat him, whether he loved me or not. I remember when I went to offer him his first beer. I was like, "Sir, would you like?" He goes,
"I'm good.
I need your beer." I'm like, "You're right." I didn't take it. I'm like, "This man is prepared." Yeah. By the time those ran out, though, he was like, "Yo, sir, bring them beers." And the food and like everything from your aunt, your uncle, the kid. What a beautiful family. And then I got to see them just recently because of your it was so beautiful. Yeah. I didn't know they were all going to be there.
I didn't either. My cousin was just like, honestly, I was a complete leaf in the wind on my birthday. Nothing went as planned. My sweet cousin came over to surprise me in the morning, and then her car broke down in my driveway. So that just started everything at 9 a.m. So I knew my day was going to be chaotic, and I just put my phone on Do Not Disturb and let my day happen. And all these people were at the restaurant, and beautiful view. It was a beautiful night.
Great. So you didn't know that was going to happen?
No. And then we were on our way to just get food, and I saw you on the road with other friends, and I lean out the window yelling, "We're going here, come." The best part was I was in the middle. My 7-year-old little cousin is on one side, adorable. And then 2-year-old cousin's on this side. Oops, sorry. I leaned over the 2-year-old who was in her car seat to scream out the window at my friends who were intoxicated on the side of the road. If that's not 30, I don't know what is.
That's 30. Your cousins are supermodels. All right, it's unbelievable. And her demeanor on her, the older of the one. Yeah, she is sassy.
My cousin's really gonna have her hands full.
Smart, very smart, mischievous too. That night we were having fun. I kept telling her to go up there, like, go tell her I like her. Yeah. She was. I love kids like that. Mm-hmm. Kids that are, and I mean that most kids are like that, but I'm learning that the kids that aren't glued to shout out to Alex Verone. He keeps bringing, he has his son, Tomis, who he got married, and his wife had a 10-year-old, give or take 10. He just turned 11. We had a cake for him at this.
Cute.
But he brings him, and then he has a baby who's like toddler, but walking about like maybe one. I'm not good with the ages, but his name's Memphis. Okay. But point is, Alex, it's Juan's brother, brings him to soccer like almost ever. And it's amazing because he brings the kids to soccer even when he's not there to keep them in the climate. My point is, though, to see kids now at an age where they're not like.
So he's bringing the kids and they're keeping themselves entertained and behaving without being sat in front of an iPad is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's mind-boggling.
And with me working in the restaurant industry with COVID, we no longer hand out the crayons, the paper, like all of that changed. And so now we don't have the placemat and everything to keep the kids entertained. So I see parents constantly just like tossing the iPad, giving them their phone, which whatever brings you peace. Correct. I'm not judging. I don't know how they monitor their screen time.
I don't either.
They never get screen time at home.
That's their time when they're out. So
I know nothing, but I have to say the kids that can self-sustain themselves, I think that they're learning tools that'll really help them in the future.
I told Alex that the other day, I go, listen, I'm no dictator or dictation of like good or bad. I'm not a parent. But I said, the way you're happy, like, and he goes, listen, he's the one like saying to me, like, I'm going. which I love. And that's what's cool is I think the minute you give them something that's beyond. And now look, though, I'm not turning this into a bashing session of the interwebs.
Of course not.
It's
a
look
tool.
Look what we're doing. Like, but it's amazing. And that day, the older one was like loving human engagement. And I remember she was a little mischievous one. I loved it.
She's so social too.
So I loved it. And what 9, 10? What is it? How old? 7. I'm so off because she's about height of a.
Tall.
Is she?
She's almost as tall as her mom.
See, to me, she's waist high, so everyone waist high is 10.
Yeah.
Ish, but so 7. She had was that her little school uniform she had on?
Mm-hmm.
Adorable. And for those that don't know Bri's family, that day was so special. I had no idea what I was involved with, and I like that little couch section in Tortugas now.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cozy. Yeah. Does that get used a lot?
No, it doesn't. It's my favorite.
It's like VIP, please. I think because it's so cozy and exclusive-ish, people feel like, oh, I wish I could sit. I think
too, upstairs is a dinner crowd, and it's hard to have dinner because it's a low table that's in line with your knees. So families can't sit there because they can't lean and eat. You see what I'm saying? So it is more of a cocktail hangout area.
Loungy.
And so that doesn't get utilized upstairs as much as it should. But I love it.
I enjoy it. I almost feel so special when I get to be. But then again, being socially aware, when I'm like by myself or it was just you and I almost don't want to be there because I don't want to deter. Like I'm the guy that gives my seat away to someone who hasn't been to the establishment before because I want them to feel that welcomed. I love that feeling. It happened to me the other day at Turtle Shack. Someone walked in and I was there. I was the only one at the bar. And there's something about the Turtle Shack bar that if you're not like tucked into the right, people get they don't want to sit to the far left. I know.
Well, the staff.
Yeah, you're like, there. Yeah. And it was a couple and I could tell they weren't like, they don't go there 10 times a week. So they walked in and the woman really wanted, it was an older couple, and the woman really wanted to sit at the bar. And the guy was like, you know, guys are. He's like, no, let's go. Like, because I was there and I'm up. Yeah. And so I was like, no, I'm just hovering. So I got my stuff and I took it outside because I wasn't going to be there much longer. But that appreciation of it, it's once again, that whole, you know, this is why I love you. You have the same thing. Are we going to keep growing the hair?
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready to go long. I miss my long hair.
I haven't seen it like I said, we usually see each other in comfy, cozy settings or work settings, and I haven't seen it. Jerome, it's great length.
Thank you.
Let it go. I'm just going to keep.
Let's keep growing. Let me straighten yours one day just so we can see how long, just because I'm curious, because this is my hair straight and I usually have the wave. I'm curious to see how long yours is.
We'll burn my hair off.
It won't. One time won't hurt you.
You know, it's funny. Sometimes I think I'm finding other people's hair. I'm like, who is what? And it's like,
and it's you.
Sure. What else? I feel like we have to talk about one more thing. I don't know what it is. We have something. I feel like there's something. I don't know. Not just me.
I have a question for you about that. Do you feel like you have a choice or a say in the matter if something is going to be sentimental to you or not? Or is it passed to you and you just have this weight of it?
It's a good question. I would say I'm like looking at things that I would find like sentimental, whether they have age. I would say with the first, as you were asking I can immediately grab the things I want that are sentimental to me. There's this blue pig at my grandparents' house that is on the brink of shattering if you look at it too long. And I remember as a kid playing with it, like not allowed to play with this.
You don't touch this tchotchke.
Not touch that tchotchke. Things like that weigh heavy on me because they have age. Like I remember literally playing with it as a kid. Like those things are worth its weight in Bitcoin, whatever.
At my grandmother's house, it was her thimbles.
See, like I can,
and I couldn't play with them. Wanted to put them on all my little fingers.
You're never allowed. That's what gives the.
Yeah, you want it.
Of course, cannot. So I didn't choose them.
We're itching.
I know, like,
Give us the pig
no,
and the pinball.
it's funny. This is
Mine
like
was yeah.
this was really it was morbid to do, but like we had to go through. This is a couple years ago. My grandfather was like, we had to talk, and he's like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "No,
we've got another 100
where are
billion
you going?"
years.
There's a serum now. You put it in, you live forever. But we did it. He sat us all down, and it was amazing to see. And he like gave us his phone.
Yeah.
He's a genie on the thing. It's incredible to see an 85-year-old man use an iPhone better than most people our age. Incredible. The other day, he even said to me, he goes, "What am I storing my phone? You know, how do I?" And I'm like, no, it's a beautiful thing. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
He's been back to the fields now and he's recording with this thing. It's unbelievable. I could have done it. So
was it cool to see what your siblings were sentimental?
It was awesome
over?
to see that.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I don't know what I think each of them can remember an instance where they probably stole it, you know, like took it off the wall or play. There's so many doodads. Those I didn't choose. Maybe as a kid, I was like, that pig is coming with me.
Right.
But as I'm getting older, like that photo that's on the fridge that you took, that now, like if we were leaving for the tsunami, like that's going in
and it's wallet size too.
It's wallet sized. So like, I don't know if but here, okay, can I just tangent? I have a couple toys, like human, adulting toys. And this shit is falling apart beachside. And listen, as a OCD neurotic Italian, that's everything's supposed to be shiny and squeaky and the newest and the best. That is killing. That I have to constantly remind myself, shut up. Like, stop it. What do you do? It's all just shit.
Yeah, it's just shit.
So I'm trying, and it takes a daily, it reboots in the morning because I can act like I got it all, and then like the next pitted area, I'm like, oh, I didn't want it to be there, right? So I'm trying to not choose things that have material as I'm getting older.
I like that.
Which is hard.
That is so hard. It's constantly letting go of the attachment.
That's why I think the storage unit hit. If there's one thing that I leave off today with this conversation, outside of loving you, is that storage unit that you're going through. I'm not good at these. I have the stupid shed back there that Camille and I recently are like, what's in it? You know, like literally, we haven't even. Last time
you opened it,
I have no idea.
There could be raccoons.
There could be someone in there living in it. It could be a platypus living in the back.
I hope there's a platypus.
What if I was Flagler Beach's first
platypus?
Do you know platypuses are poisonous?
I did not. I think armadillos are too.
No, I don't think so.
They don't have herpes or something?
They have that. They have like good save. They don't have like some kind of
like they have something I'm not.
They really platypuses have like a thorn, a thing in their tail,
like a scorpion.
Yes, they're one. I think that scorpions make slurping noises when they stab you. Here in Flagler.
Wait. Okay. Here in Flagler, scorpion. Last week I was on one. I went to Sunrise every day. It was great.
You were on a scorpion? What do you mean?
No, so I'm getting there.
Oh.
But so last week.
Last week I was scorpion. I love it.
I was going for Sunrise every day, and at the beach, it's early, kind of out of it. I look down and I'm like, oh, that's a scorpion on the sand. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
On the beach? Never have I ever.
I'm like, it looks dried up. And, you know, I spent a lot of time in the desert. I'm like, this thing looks dried up. It's not moving. Why is it here? Did someone release a pet scorpion? Do scorpions live in this dune?
Was it black or brown?
It was brown.
Okay.
I'm going through everything in my head. And so then I get a stick and I poke it and it doesn't move. I go to pick it up. It's a plastic toy. For like 12 minutes, I am flipping
Steve Irwin this thing. Here you have, folks, the most indigenous creature in all the land.
And it was plastic. Someone's plastic toy scorpion.
My mom got bit by a scorpion in the shower.
Really?
I was home too. I was I was a kid, adolescent. I wasn't like a baby. But I remember my mom was showering, and at that time she had a shower curtain, like a plastic one, and I guess it was in the the shower curtain and she whipped it open and it like went on her.
I mean, she's still with us to this day.
Listen,
but
my mom is. Can we do mom talk for a minute?
yeah,
Oh wait, before
love
we
mom talk.
Before we move forward, what about you? With your you're like, wait, who? Bri said what? Is she here?
With sentimental things?
Yeah. Where are you, like?
I have no say in the matter because I love the human beings in my life so much, and I believe that the humans that have been placed in our life are from our previous lives. You know, they've been given to us, brought to us again for a reason, and so anything they bestow upon me, it's the sword and the stone. You know, like I have to keep this with me forever. Right now, I'm wearing my grandfather's necklace, which he's passed away, but I wear this every day.
I never knew that was his. I see that on you all the time.
Yeah. And then this is my name. This was given to me when I was born by my family in Spain. But then this dress was my aunt's back in the 90s. And I don't wear it that often. I don't even like the color pink, but I have to wear it because it was hers and she gave it to me.
Aww.
And I know I look like cute, but these things that people give me, like that leather dress and that leather jacket, would I ever go buy that? No, but for some reason they thought of me and wanted to give me that item, and it's that I hold on to. It's like they
there's
trust
a
me
story
with this item.
a lot of your, which obviously reflects sentimental stuff, but
right.
So you're not able to really, you're worse me, meaning like you're like me, you can't.
I thought that in my storage unit, I had a box of my mom's like china, and I've been holding on to it. I just moved into a new home recently, and the same plates are there. I call my mom. I'm like, oh my gosh, you'll never believe it. We have the same plates here. She goes, I got those at a yard sale, and then saw them at Target and bought the rest of the set. I've been holding on to this thinking it's the holy grail of dishware.
But see, that's what we do. And I think there's like two things that work in congruency to each other. It's valuable to find things valuable that aren't valuable.
Ooh, I love that.
I never said that before.
Pleasures.
Write that down, folks.
Yeah.
But don't let it own you. You know, like for instance, this necklace used to have a charm on it. And like a stunad, I was riding around. I was using this necklace. I never take it off. And there used to be this little widow's mite, like a little charm. And I was connecting when I was swimming and rehabbing, I would swim and I had an underwater headphones and I had nowhere to attach it to. So I was attaching it to here. But over a X amount of time period, it was rubbing the charm like the connector piece, whatever. And it wore it thin and the charm broke off one day. And thank God I couldn't believe I found the charm. Because it's an actual widow's mite. It doesn't have much value, but it is numismatic. It has like a piece of paper. It's
That's
like
so cool.
real.
Yeah.
And widow's mites are supposed to like date back to biblical days that like it was a currency. So anyways, gone. And like, thank God I find it. Hold on. Let me just say something to this wonderful paramedic. So stop.
He'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. He's talking to the neighbor. Here he is. Hi.
I said, you got to give me a minute. You know, the city is changing ordinances because of him.
Really?
Yeah, we won't get too negative, but yeah, he's missing a couple chromosomes.
Love you.
So I lose this charm and it was a big deal. But is it a big deal?
I mean, if I lost this, I would be in bed so sick.
Is that healthy though?
Bad. It's not.
I don't think it is.
It definitely is not. The chain that this came on, that the dolphin came on, I broke and I was really upset about. I held on to it for 6 years and then finally got rid of it. And you know, this chain I've had my entire life that it's on, but I've lost 2 rings that were my great Aunt Al's because they didn't fit me properly, and I wanted to wear them because they meant a lot, and lost them. And that really messed with me. And I still feel guilt over it, but it's not healthy to hold on to that guilt. My Aunt Al wouldn't want me to feel guilty. You know, she'd just want me to go live.
I think it's cool I think it's awesome. For instance, if you were, I'm just using this as an example. If one day I hadn't seen you in a while and I went over and this was not in the center of your house, but like there, like, oh my God, you still have that? I'm like, yeah, you gave it to me. Like that resonates. But I think Denzel Washington said it, that there are no U-Hauls behind a hearse. You ever heard that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Can't take it with you when you go.
No. And it's it does go back to some of my darkest periods of time when I isolated from humans that I knew. I was still near humans, but if you're not happy when your eyes are closed, like you're fucked. And I use this other example, and that is like the ringing inside of your ears when it starts to become music. I think there really starts to be that shift as a human, that it doesn't rely on a person, place, or thing.
Right.
It's so hard. And I'll be the first to admit, I think we as humans like correlate codependency as like a bad trait. Why is it wrong or bad to want? It's not to need it. I think that's the difference.
Yeah. You have to have happiness by yourself.
Boom, boom.
Being codependent is great.
Right.
But when you are codependent, if you don't have your happiness by yourself, that other person, you're relying on them for happy. And that's a disservice to them. That's breaking their back. They can't be there happy and you're happy.
You know what? One of the things that always would, that one of the first time I realized that you knew John Robinson, those that know me real good know that I have a psychological disorder, and it's called Matthew Robinson.
Yeah.
And I talk about him. It's probably not even healthy, but I don't give a crap. I will keep that. And I don't do it to try to change anybody. I'm not like out there like, remember his name. Like, the world's going on, man. Like Kobe, what, not to sound anticlimactic, like, come on. This is life. We're going. Remember even when I was hurt and I told you I felt like I was my own ghost?
Yeah.
Soccer kept going.
It did.
Soccer didn't stop.
And that hurt you.
It hurt so bad. Like, life can't go on without, you can't play soccer without me.
Right.
Yeah, you can. It may even be better. Right? Like, you're not out there yelling at us. Like, yeah. So, but the Matthew effect, I didn't even know until then. I didn't even know legitimately that you had knew John and this and that. And what point is, he was as guilty as me when it came to toys. That's a whole nother issue that I have. Like, not new toys. Those are cool too. I'm talking about nostalgic toys, Ninja Turtles, things like that. Which ironically now carries high value. Like, I'm like, those toys, throw them out. But that stuff means anything that Matt touched, gave to me, or I stole from him, not of value, but like, take this is mine.
This holographic Charizard card is mine.
And that's how I've become so successful. I've stolen it. But I have a box of Matthew shit that nobody would ever even. It's junk. It's literally junk. But to me, if I put it on eBay, I'd be like $10 million. He has this. You ever seen like emptied ammo, like like Rambo would wear?
Yeah.
He has one of those. There's no shells in them, but they're all emptied. And I remember so cool. I've gone to throw this thing out probably 5 times in cleansings, because Matt's been gone almost 10 years, where like I'm moving a box or something. This thing's heavy. It's real artillery.
That's so cool. You will have to show me some.
And I go to like, every time I'm like, what am I going to do with it? What am I doing with this? And it smells, because it's like metal. It smells. It's heavy. It's annoying. I go to
make sure you have a tetanus shot before you
100%.
Touch it.
It probably has herpes too.
Them armadillos.
Those armadillos are out there. And I go to throw it out, and I'm like, what are you doing? You can't do it. Yeah. Can't do it. And you know what, though? I'm actually always happy when I see it the next time. So I'm glad you have my disease, another one of our diseases.
Yeah. I mean, so I look at all of my relationships in life as loving relationships, like lovers. My best friends are my lovers. Like, they bring out so much in me. It doesn't have to be romantic, but isn't life just romantic? Isn't it just like beautiful, sensual, sweet all the time? But so I hold on to all these little things. One of my best friends was just here in town, and I'm going through my closet, and she was a fashion major.
Hottie Blondie?
Yes. And I'm like, but I'm like, remember this shirt you made freshman year? Like, all these things, like pulling them out. And she's like, you don't need to keep all these things, right? And I was like, but I want to for me. And I even have her high school graduation dress, like all these things. But like, I think it is sweet and like beautiful to hold on to these, but I guess like, is it unhealthy if you hold on to your past lover little tchotchkes? Like, is it cringe that I have like a box in that storage unit with things from
Look,
past
can I be like a not crowd favorite?
Yeah.
Don't care. And I talk about this in my private life. I'll talk about it in the show for those
Mhm.
that are willing to listen to this. I have to this day a bin of a bunch of shit that I have from that I don't know if you know the term that I use. I'll say it in the show. I don't think I've actually ever used it in the show, but I think everyone has that first love, and I think it's healthy.
Yeah.
I don't think that it should be this. I don't think it should be frowned upon, looked at, or disgusted with, or this. I have my first love 110%. I think those that go on in life and act as if that past didn't exist. I don't think it's, to me, in my own little life, in my own little sandcastle that I have, I just don't think it's healthy. I think
it's a disservice.
It's a disservice to your, it's you. It's okay.
Yeah.
Now maybe maybe your first love was a horrible person, or you were a horrible person, but it's still part of you, and hopefully you grew. But the person that I first fell in love with, I was super, super lucky. She was the most amazing, at that point in my life, was the most amazing woman that I had ever met in my entire life. And talk about like stuff. Talk about tchotchkes. Her last name was Tchotchke. I remember she would make anything she made and I have them, majority of them.
Mm-hmm.
I would need 10 semi trucks for the amount of stuff she made. It was beautiful. And actually, most of the stuff that I lost was due to a flood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But the stuff that I have, it's got to be politely confrontational for a spouse, for those that are out there, and me having a spouse, that box. Now, do I open it every day and go like, oh my God? Oh.
Right.
No. And even if I did, is that wrong? I don't know. That part is not my business with people's private life. But I will say that stuff is special to me. Yeah. What do I do with it? I don't know. I know that I can't get rid of it. Does it mean that I'm going to use it to worship or to burn one day? It's not an altar. Yeah. But then again, it was special to me. And it was something that made, in those moments, there is something to be said about psychological triggers, right? Like, this is nothing and futile. It's just a can. But if this was the can that was the last can that I drank with you, and something happened to you today, this would have the remnants of that can would be, I could pick it up and I would probably remember all of a sudden the dress, the pattern, your hair, this, because it's the smell, the guy banging, right? Like it all. But I don't think there's anything wrong with finding value in things that don't have value. Just don't let them own you. But here we go again. You do it. I'm proud of you. And in the grand scheme of things, and I hated when people did this to me, I still do. I think it's healthy, but with it, I bump into a lot of people that have 10 years, 20 years on me, etc. You're still a baby. You're a baby. I'm a baby in the grand scheme of things too. I know at the ripe age of nothing, I'm still learning. I don't have it all. I was thinking today, I'm like, literally the jazz that I put on, it's been the same fucking jazz that I've been putting. And I'm like, there's probably other jazz, but it's like, it's okay. I found the jazz I like. Jazz. Yeah. So I'm not saying that I found the best one, but I found what I've liked at my ripe age. But you have found what you like too, but you're a baby.
Isn't it so funny too when you look back to when you were young? I don't know if you were like me. I thought I knew everything.
Duh.
And now it's the real maturity when you realize that you don't know shit.
Nothing.
Like every day that you wake up, step outside is a new learning opportunity, a new opportunity to evolve, become a new version, better version of yourself, or even to regress a little bit and then move forward.
I don't think that there's ever a better experience for me. I have my being in a highly crowded environment with my space. For instance, airport in the corner, you are not important. Yeah. I'm speaking to myself. Look at all those people.
Right. Hustling and bustling.
All of them have something very important to do.
Yeah.
I feel that way when I'm on my way to soccer, because very rarely am I on the highway. And then when I go to soccer on Sundays, I go on 95. And I'm like, where are all these people? What is going on? So I'm living in this la la land.
You hardly leave the island.
I don't leave. And then I get on 95. I'm like, There's not. Where's everyone going? Where's everyone got to go?
What you got to do?
You going to soccer too? The fields are over here.
I felt that way when I lived in Los Angeles and I'm commuting on the 405 every day.
Is that
work
road
in
that Rogan
Malibu.
talks about all the time? It's
Mhm.
like 6 lanes.
Bajillion lanes, all the things, all the construction always happening.
Where are they all going?
Where are you going?
But they're all important. They all got
Everything is
something really important to do.
Mhm.
And it makes you, I think it's good to remember how important everybody else is important. I'm not trying to sound the woo-woo with it. It sounds so like, and make sure you love everybody today. Like, it's not about that. It's love yourself. Love yourself. And by consequence, I think the only reason why there's not tens of thousands of accidents on our roads or any immediate is because everyone's self-preservation. So emulate that. Like, take care of your, like, stay in your lane and be careful and focus on the 6 inches in front of your face. And then I think it all just like, it's a compound factor from there. But I'm not trying to change the world either.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times for those that catch sound bites of conversations like this, or whether it's a self-help book or this, if in the moment they were listening to this one point, like, oh, it must be fucking nice. You guys think it's a Wednesday and there you are having a nice drink. You ain't doing anything. Must be nice. Like, no, you have no clue.
Right.
I'm just as broken as you. And that's what's unique. And that yesterday when I was going through my own discrepancies of where I'm at, I was on this couch and I was watching a quick little podcast and caught a soundbite or two of about with this really successful guy, miserable. So it's not about, everybody has, if you're healthy physically, don't fuck up your mental health.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna keep flip-flopping back. If you're healthy physically and mentally, you are Elon Musk, because he's not. And he'll admit it. If you've listened to any of his syndications, he is not. Man, don't sleep.
Imagine having all of that and not having the one thing that makes you happy.
I know. Imagine.
Because like so often I consider you and I to be very happy people. And even when I'm struggling with my depression, I tell people all the time, I'm such an optimistic, depressed person. And I think it's because I'm an empath. So I like healing others. It's the yoga, it's my friendships, it's how I live life. But Sugarfoot, where was I going with that?
You were going to probably, maybe, I would assume, illustrate clearly that even through the midst of your dismay, you find comfort.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way.
Yeah.
I mean, even admitting in a live environment that you have depression is I think the word depression, I want to see something too. We might even been, we're still going. I think the word depression has such a negative connotation.
Right.
I don't understand why. And I'm not trying to change the world. Anyone that may listen to this now or in the future and they're like, oh, it must be nice, I've been diagnosed. Maybe me too. It's okay to not be happy.
Yeah.
I don't think we're
not supposed
if
to
we
be
go
happy all the
back
time.
to, I'm 30 nothing. I know nothing about what's going on in the world, but if you were to put me in a jungle and there was a dinosaur coming after me, I'm not too happy. But it's fight or flight.
Yeah.
And I think that we just get so complacent. And I use this analogy of the high fructose corn syrup. The other day at a dinner table, very rarely do I get into this conversation, but when I do, it's in front of family because I'm very vulnerable in front of family, meaning I talk stupid. I would never say this in public, but in the sake for the show, I'll be candid and say that I really think that in the 1800s-ish, when Coca-Cola was invented, it was one of the first highly produced artificial things. It had never been done before. Nothing had ever been produced to that quantity and magnitude. So here Coca-Cola comes on the market. Never had it been made. Nothing's ever been made to that magnitude. And it's being mass produced. It costs a penny to produce what would yield tens of thousands of dollars in the 1800s. So I think at that point, there was that shift in society. And I don't brand America as the best country in the world, but it was an American standard of it was gluttonized. It was a gluttony. Gluttony's good.
Yeah.
It's okay to make $10 billion off of what cost me 1 cent. But the irony was the product was fake.
Capitalism, baby.
But that doesn't bother me more than the product was fake. It's not, it's artificial. If you look at it, it says artificial. The fact that you're here and you are real and everything that you shared with your words and your spirit and your persona, it's real. You didn't send an avatar, an imposter. We're not in the metaverse. You're real and you're tangible. and it's powerful. It's bam.
Oh,
But the minute you start sending out things that aren't real, I think that's when you get fucked up. And if you're not happy, which we all can be, stay. I think that's what one thing that took me years to accomplish, and that is stop going outside of your comfort zone when you're not comfortable. Get comfortable first.
Yeah.
And
Focus
even if
on you.
and once you've got your oxygen on, once again, look at the airlines. They do that for liability purposes. They don't really care if you stay alive. The airlines don't really care if you live or not. They just don't want to get sued. So think about it. They're doing that because it's in your best interest.
Yeah.
Put your oxygen on first, then help. But how are you going to help somebody when you're fucking losing your own oxygen?
Right.
And you do this, but I think, and I'll close on this because I'm getting, every day when you wake up, it reboots. Just because I be in the moment of happiness now, tomorrow I may be miserable. Clinically, I'm not going to be happy.
3 hours you could be miserable.
100%.
Yeah.
One phone call, one this, or anything, a speeding ticket, anything could happen. Specifically when you do things like, I know now physically and clinically tomorrow I will have a sense and a test of depression because I'm drinking. But duh. So tomorrow I'm going to wake up, feel inadequate, feel fluffy. I'm the failure. It's not going to work. The internet's going to shut off and you're fat. Boom. Done. Why even try? I have to go over, fix that. But before I do that, I don't go out.
Right.
Stop.
You're not going to take that energy out there because it's not fair.
Right. I'm not going to kick the dog.
First. Right. You know, everything you were just saying, though, really, when you're talking about artificial, I can't stop thinking about how much value we put on the artificial things in life, whether it's social media, which I love social media too, but whether it's that or the Gucci bag or the this and that, like, it's not real. The laughter, the crow's feet, the wrinkle lines, all of that, that's real. Yeah. Like toes on the sand on the earth, that's real. Not the one candid photo where you say, take a picture of me candidly, and then you laugh in the air like this while someone snaps photos. That's not real.
Right. What's it like being, I think that women deal with different variations of, this isn't anything paramount, it's duh, but women deal with a higher sense of accountability than men do. As I'm kissing 40, I know that there's a lot of women and men out there that are doing a lot of things to keep our self-preservation intact and keep our, like, we want to look good. And we're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. You're guilty. We all want to stay sexy.
Right.
What's it like being a woman and do you feel like, what's it like right now? What would you describe if I was an alien? I just landed on the planet and I'm like, so you're 30. So you've gone around the sun 30 times,
30 big dances.
Yeah. Your gender, you're a woman. Is that what, okay. What is it like in 2021? What are you feeling? What do you feel?
I feel, wow. Okay. I feel
unpremeditated. You know this. This is just, this is the show.
I feel empowered and I feel like I have a purpose and I feel like I have a task as a woman because being 30, there's still women alive and here on this earth that were oppressed. And there's still things that as women we deal with, like the pink tax, how our hygiene products just cost more, you know, and then we're not paid fairly, this, and that, you know, and if we're a lawyer, they're not just said, oh, Mrs. Mitchell is a lawyer. It's, oh, female lawyer. You know, when you're talking about a male in their profession, you never put the word male in front of it because it's just expected.
Right.
But if we have a higher up profession, people put the word female in it like it's some big thing that's been earned, you know? And so there's still people alive that didn't have the right to vote. And so with yesterday too, being an election day, you know, as a woman right now, I want to let go of the vanity that women have held on to for so long. And I just have a task at hand, you know? Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense to me.
Sweet.
Are you doing it?
I think so.
I think you are.
I think so. Because, I show up to these yoga classes to teach with this crazy, messy bun on my head, and it's like, I want to let go of the vanity and all of that to where you're supposed to look a certain way and do all of this and just do and just show up and just be and to keep working hard and to speak up for the ones that don't feel strong enough to speak up for themselves, because we all have a voice. For the first time these last couple of years, I truly believe that every gender, whether it's identified or not, every race, everyone finally has a voice. Someone is listening. And these podcasts and all of that, they help with that so much. And I just want to hear everybody.
Well, you do a good job at it. I'm not kidding you. One of my most favorite things is to see you coexist. But I only say that because I get to, if I don't get my specialized Bri time, then I get jealous. But
we
seeing
need our
you,
couch time.
But the seeing you coexist is it's beautiful. How you navigate a room, not to manipulate, not to gain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking work. I'm not talking about like making I don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
This is you.
Me.
How you and I could walk from here to the beach, and the first person that needs a hug is going to get two.
That makes me think of the day we were taking a walk, and there was a woman, and she had her dog, and I started talking to the dog, just me talking to the dog, and then look up at her, and I talked to her, and after that whole interaction, which was quite pleasant, you said something about she never says hello, never anything. I didn't even know she needed it.
I didn't even remember the story until you said it. I remember that day. And yeah, it happens to me a lot where people say to me like, here he comes or here she comes, not just in walking, but like it happened at Tortugas the other day. Mm-hmm. There were, I guess, two grumpy ladies at a table. And whoever was serving them were like, ugh, and they were being, and I was already in a car full of greatness. Mm-hmm. And I went and sat down with them. And the server, who I forget who she was a sweetheart, but she was like, are you okay? They stabbed me.
Wow.
Not literally. Yeah, no, and I'm like,
I'm fine.
Next thing you know,
they're so much better.
And it wasn't me. It was, they're just hurt people, you know? And I listened to these two, they were sisters. Mm-hmm. But point is just like you. Like that lady is notorious for being like, and you're like, hi, I love that noise. Do it again. I do that too. And it's the Patch Adams. I just watched that the other day.
Really? So it's
fresh. By the way, if you haven't seen it, watch it. But if you've seen it, turn it off 3/4 into the movie.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
Nope.
You haven't seen Patch Adams?
I'm never gonna watch it.
I can't. No.
You can't watch.
I don't want to ruin it for you.
Well, you sound like me with the Titanic. I can only watch the first VHS.
Well.
Oh, you don't watch VHSs anymore?
Oh, I don't have a VHS player anymore. You're like,
I don't
got
know
it.
My storage unit.
That was good.
Got a relic or two.
No, I didn't realize. I'm literally watching it and I'm going, this is so good. Why did I only seen this one time? I knew I only seen it once. I'm like, this is so good. This is so good. This is so good. And then it gets to this part and you're like, no. And it's bad. They went raw with it. They went real raw. Robin, to this day, I love Robin Williams, and Hook is my Bible. Do you know that Camille and I both never watched Hook?
Really?
Because Camille has a disease called Sinemise.
Where she falls asleep. Unless it's Harry Potter.
She loves all those. We have this like polite disagreement of life because I don't do the Harry Potter. I don't get I've tried. I try. Hocus pocus is human of
Wingardium Leviosa.
I'm not even. It's great.
It's not Leviosa.
I tried getting into it.
Yeah.
I haven't brought her to go to the 13th station. Is that what it is?
Oh yeah.
13th
in
thing.
3/4.
That's what I said.
Yep.
And they moved it, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, it's not like it's too dangerous. So they put it, They were like, this is where it is. And she's like, that's not where it really is. It's over there.
I've been there.
Yeah.
There was a whole line of
Oh,
people
yeah.
waiting to take a picture. I'm an asshole. I'm standing there and I just ran through and took a selfie and then kept running. And everyone in the line was like, what the heck? She cut line. I'm like, my train leaves in 8 minutes.
Well, I don't have time. I'm American. I'm first.
Like, I didn't hit anyone out of the way.
Right.
I was quick with it. The selfie is
We were
not
polite.
attractive because my mouth is all open and I'm in motion, but I know
18.
what's happening.
I like to touch things that have importance. Coliseum.
Right now.
Things that are like the Coliseum. Like once I touch them, I'm like, been there.
Felt the energy.
Did it.
Yeah.
I did that I was really young. I started that when I was probably in my teens and I saw the Arch in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And I'm a horrible man of a lot of people in a line. And I was by myself. My dad had something to do and I go out there. So I'm in a foreign land. I'm in my teens. So like, it's like one of my first trips.
You don't have a cell phone either, right?
I did. Yeah. Come on, girl. No kiosks.
Oh, gotcha. It didn't flip or anything, right?
Well, not yet. I don't think.
It was
still
just the Nokia with
solid mass of just
a brick,
ear non-breakable. So I'm there. I'm at the thing, and I remember seeing this Arch, and there was this like line and I'm like, I am not waiting in this line to do this thing. I'm gonna touch it. So I walk. No one was touching the left side, so I went to the other side, and I was just like, I see you. I see you. I see what's up.
I like that.
I see this. And then that's been my thing. No matter where I go in the world, I just like to touch. And then I feel like I have sucked your...
That's powerful. And, you know, you're not just getting the energy from the history or from the architecture, from the monument, whatever it is. You're getting the energy from the people that are coming there to see it.
A lot of energy.
People, because, like, we all overcome so much to travel. We really do. It's not just the stress of making sure your laundry is done to pack and to leave on time for the airport.
You have to poop.
Yes, you have to time out your poops. You know, but people overcome a lot to go collectively and see something like that.
We're so blessed to still be in an area where a lot of people do come. And even to this day, if you've never, go touch the fort. For those that are near around the St. Augustine Fort.
I was just at the fort like 2 days ago.
That is the best place.
I love it. I frolicked. And then I was
Where
in the
did you
grass.
frolic?
I felt disrespectful, so I got off the grass.
No.
In the middle of the grass, I just felt bad.
You're supposed to frolic in the grass. I've had a picnic in the grass.
Picnic.
Touch the fort.
Okay.
It's
I'll
powerful.
touch the fort.
I mean, nothing really. You don't really.
Okay, Nemo, I will touch the butt.
Is that what he says in the movie?
Yeah, well, it's a boat, but I think he calls it the butt.
Oh.
Don't you touch that, Nemo.
Oh. Is that when he's in class?
Yes, and he gets in trouble. And that's how he gets lost. Because he goes to touch
Have you heard
boat.
the Nemo theory?
No.
That Nemo's not real? Listen, for those that have nothing better to do in your life, the next time you're taking a poop, Google the Nemo's not real theory. It's pretty compelling.
Okay.
I'll just quickly give some bullet points.
Okay. I'm scared.
Dory doesn't really remember him ever. The dad loses him.
Like lost all of his kids at that one fell swoop, but thinks he has this one little cripple one. Is that what you're saying?
And that's just 2 to start your Google experience.
All right.
Well said. Like argument. You do your own research. And it's crazy because there's people that have gone into, now I don't have that kind of time to recite more than those 2, but those that, if you want, it's a good theory. And I love no reason theories that have to do with cinematic situations.
Yeah.
Like Hook. Bangarang. If you can crow.
I had such
What is your happy thought? Rufio?
Yeah. How is he doing today? Rufio, are you listening?
Rufio.
Come get me, baby.
He's like, recent podcast banned for talking erotically to Rufio.
He's like, are you Rufio?
I'll speak this language. Wait. What is your happy thought? What would make you fly and never land?
My brother and sister, like how they bring out my inner child, and I can just like
that more
goof
people
off with them. I love that.
That's going to be in my next.
They were the first thing to pop in my head.
Those your, you know how what's his name in the movie? His marbles.
Yeah.
So yours are your brother and sister.
Yeah.
Those are like you could hold and then you could fly.
Yeah.
Remember when Peter Pan found his teddy and he flew and he fell? Brother and sister.
My babes. Yeah. What is yours?
I don't know. I wasn't prepared. I don't know. All right,
Because
hold on. If I have to fly and I need you kind of joined into 1 and 2 though. You went brother sister.
They're twins. Can't have one without the other.
Did you see what Megan and Matthew did?
I did. Yeah. They're twins in town and they switched. It was great for
Halloween. It was great.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I love cross-dressing for Halloween.
I was a girl once. I'll never forget. I was living in the F section. Shout out F section.
I used to live there.
Very nostalgic for me. I dressed up as a girl walking around, and I remember it was one of those hot Halloweens. I was like, "This is stupid. What am I doing? I don't ever want to be. I'll never be a girl ever again. Girls suck." But happy thought. When I was when my health has been challenged the most, and I'm like really, really sick, like in bed, and you need to find a happy place. It's the thought of being with family in Massachusetts. There's a lot of whether it's the base of stairs in the basement at my grandparents' house. It could be the grass. New England grass is way different than most grasses. All grass is different than our St. Augustine grass.
Yeah.
Like our grass is like, let's go.
Every different environment.
Every
has its
grass,
own
but our grass. See, as a kid, I was like, Massachusetts grass is the best grass. It's pretty much every grass but Florida grass. But frolicking and I can close my eyes and feel Massachusetts and those memories that the people, all of them, like there's this. So that's like somewhere I can go, even if I'm like I've only been to surgery a couple times, right before those like I'm gonna die.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna die. Those are my secret spots. Is I can close my eyes, and basements are a big deal for me. Basements carry. They're cool. They smell.
Yeah.
They have there's a sense of a basement. All basements they're better than rooms. You go down.
What's happened down here?
Yeah, what's going on down here?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I even like those like really barren basements where there's always this scary like corner area and you're like, don't go over there.
Right.
I saw a really great social media post the other day. It was making light of when the lights turn off and getting out quickly because you could die.
And you're going up the stairs afraid that they're going to get your ankles.
What are those things?
Scorpions, duh. And armadillos.
Those herpy armadillos. Don't forget about my platypus living in my.
It could be platyply. You do not know.
Plural. All right. Should we do it? Did we do it? We went. I thought we didn't get booted. We didn't say any choice words. Go.
Layla is 6, guys. So yes, this just proves her sass isn't very real. Well, New England grass.
Don't read. See, you can't read the comments. You get sucked away. All right.
I'm sorry. I said she's 7.
Did we do it? Do you have any closing statements, questions, or concerns?
I need to talk to HR, really.
The Scorpions. We got this. No, but I love you. We did it. We went.
We did it.
What was it?
Are we done?
Hour 4. We could go. We're at 1. I moved the games back to 4. So we got time. I don't even got a pee-pee, but.
I don't have pee-pee. I would just like everyone to know that Chenzo made me this very strong drink before I got here. He's got 1/4 left. I've drinking 1/8. No, I'm a big girl.
I put it in a coffee cup to be. The scorpion comes out. We did it. Let's do it.
Okay.
And your eyes, by the way, when the light hits the.
Speaking of my eyes, so
here it is.
I have freckles in my eyes. And when I was on the school bus, there was this boy we went to school with named Levi.
Like the jeans. bitch.
His last name started with an S, but I can't remember what it was. It wasn't Strauss, but we can just call him Levi Strauss for the sake of this conversation. But he told me that I had freckles in my eyes because they were scars from when I was cloned. And I have 2 in one eye, 1 in the other, and that each one was like one of my clones. And so I thought that I had 3 Bri clones out in the world. So if anyone has seen my clones, if you're out there, please come into the comments. I want to meet you.
What if they? Yes, she's here.
Captain.
Captain. You know what's really interesting about being bullied is it sticks with you. I remember when I got picked on for the first time for being hairy.
Same, boo.
I can imagine because you're a girl. At least I remember Werewolf Boy, which is not even that.
Which is like so hot because like wasn't Hugh Jackman a werewolf or something? Oh, I'm thinking.
You say it. Do it.
You want me to go talk
say
to
it,
him?
sir. We're still live. Could you give me? In consideration, people. All in the cities have changed the ordinances. So if you use power tools a lot, then maybe you shouldn't. And you have a neighbor that has a power tool that uses it all day, every day, and is that guy. How did it go?
I couldn't do it.
You didn't say it?
I couldn't say it because he's with the little kid in the thing and they're playing.
He's hammering.
Yeah.
You got to say it.
It's not that loud. It's not that loud. We're in our closing round.
We're going to close it.
Not right this second. Not yet. Because we're talking about bullying. And I actually, you know what's crazy? I forgot I thought about this morning. I was like, I wonder what we're going to talk about. I said, maybe we'll talk about the names I was called growing up. So I can't believe that this came up. But you're a werewolf boy.
Werewolf boy.
What else? Was there anything else that you're holding on
Big-eyed
to now?
Roach boy.
Roach?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Last name's DeRoche.
That's just
weird. And it I mean, you can recite them. Isn't it sad that you can recite?
Let's hear 'em. Keep going. Are there more?
Got Roach boy, big-eyed. Always got made fun of my big eyes.
I love your big eyes.
Well, I know as I gotten older, I was like, wait a minute, girls like big eyes. Big eyes. Werewolf boy, big one. That was because it was so hairy. That's pretty much it. Roach boy was like that's
a mean one.
So I ended up trying to make it better. So my first instant messenger name was Super Roach.
I like that.
Like I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use
that's
this.
That's like how Fat Amy on Pitch Perfect. She's like, you know, she says something about I knew you were gonna make fun of it, so I just embraced it, like whatever. Which is also sad.
It was sad because like I embraced it, but then again, little did I know this was pre-marijuana world for me.
Oh,
so then it ended up like being like, yo, Super Roach.
You're Papa Roach.
Like, remember Papa Roach?
Sure do.
So it ended up, and then again, how my life ended up evolving was, oh look, I'm a real boy. Like I have, like then all of a sudden, boys wanted to have, the hair. Like, oh, he has hair on his arm. He's, you know, like, but girls, there's no. You must have gotten it tenfold.
Awful.
Did you have a name?
Like they called me man. These gross things about my hair, but like I remember I wasn't allowed to shave yet, and I shaved earlier because my leg hair was so long. And I'm the same height now that I was in the 4th grade. I sprouted up. I was a whole 1.5 feet taller than every boy, and I had long leg hair. And I shaved early. I felt like the Grinch, cut my legs all up, of course, you know. And I could get away with shaving early. So I was raised by my dad, who was blind. So like he had no idea what was going on. And I think my mom found out when I came home to visit her. But anyways, you know, and you never want to start shaving early as a woman because then you started and you can't stop.
Can't stop.
And it grows differently after said first shave.
Yep.
But, you know, they made fun of that. And then I remember in the 8th grade, I had a boyfriend and I asked him, which was the worst question ever, if you could change anything about me, what would it be? And he said, I wish you weren't as hairy.
I love that we share hair, the hair pain.
Yeah. And I like a hairy man. Like now.
Yeah, but you know, I know what it's like. Back then, it was not. Right. And I was a boy. and you had hair pain. It's the worst. Listen,
Yeah.
if
and
you
I've
have
got like the sideburns, I've got
it
the hair on the
grows.
neck. Like I just, is it the Spaniard in me? Like what
I
is
don't
it?
know. There's some. Listen, one thing that I will say, I thank the hair gods is that I didn't get a hairy back. Not that I think that's if you got it, you got it. There's nothing. There's no. But it is harder to maintain because it's the back. But look, my point is that to this day, I think I made fun of maybe one person in my life, and I end up regretting it. And I know exactly who he is. And I to this day, if I see him, I apologize because I was victim of just starting to become like cool, and they were making fun of him. And I remember I was like, meh, that kind of thing. And I remember being like, to this day, I remember exactly those moments way heavier than me than even some of the happiest moments because it's not cool.
I hold on to those things too.
So all I can say, I don't think people near around our age anymore are actually, I've noticed this too. If you are, not you, those that are listening at any point, if for any, well, actually, I don't think people that are, they'll probably even listen to this little show, but it will happen to you. Yeah. It will happen to you. You know what's funny? Those that even josh with me now, like pick and prod, I don't say anything, and then like it comes.
You see it come back.
I'll do a little joke. There are times where like little things, Camille will make fun of me because like I poop a lot. In general, like especially before big trips and stuff, I'm like my whole day is like I gotta poop. Like that's all I gotta do. Like as long as I get that, and she'll prod with me like, God, poop master supreme, kind of stuff like that. Guess what she ends up getting?
Diarrhea.
Don't pick on people.
Come
back. It'll come back to you.
I mean, I'm picked on for poop, but because my initials are BM, bowel movement.
That's a big stretch, but I guess kids
knew what it was.
That's so weird.
I was just teased about it a week ago by my boss, who is 50 years old. He saw BM when he's typing up my stuff, and he goes, bowel movement.
That's a stretch, though.
And then my freckles.
That's
I was teased constantly for my freckles. I hated them when I was young. They called me shit screen. They said it looked like someone put a screen over my face and took a dump.
Isn't that sad that you can recite these things?
Yeah.
It's so sad.
It's wild.
Yeah, I mean, so I think, I guess, I think this goes without even being said, but I am so glad I didn't grow up in the digital era we do now, because I would probably have like a website built for me, like hairboy.com, and that people, they're brutal. I'm telling you, if you guys, one of the most amazing things that I find to be that don't happen, because once again, relating back to that Sebastian guy, the comedian, he has a skit in his room and just like disheveling it all the I think I understand about privacy and giving your kids space and that, and I'm not trying to tell the world how to raise a kid, but like I didn't have a room. I didn't have like a spot that wasn't like untouched.
Yeah.
My mom, and not to be mean, not like I'm going through this now and like throwing it on the floor, but I didn't have privacy. I don't think there's such thing as privacy. Now, I didn't grow up as a girl, so I think maybe being a girl, you have maybe a moment. I don't know, but we grew up as I think these kids, if you have a kid and you have a kid that for instance, I remember, I'll never forget, my cousin was probably in middle school and I found out he was getting bullied, and it ripped my soul out. Because one of the things, you want to know why I think kids like me is that I say this when parents aren't listening, is I didn't say this to your kids because that's kid, but like adolescents, kids.
My cousins, not my kids.
Yes. Bri has kids. Is I'll say to them, I'll go, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. Is anyone fucking with you?
Yeah. And
their eyes go, how did you know? And they know them. They're like, yo, Philip, Matthew, like they can, just like you can name, I can name mine. And I say, oh, and I remember when I was in my teens when my cousins were hitting their adolescences, and I said, we would meet all the time. I would take them out, and I would say, it was like saying, how are you? Is anyone fucking with you? And one day my cousin goes, yes, so-and-so did this, that, and this. I said, okay. Well, and I'm not out there preaching, give knuckle sandwiches out, but I says, if it happens, this is what I want you to do. I know what it's like. You're in my school. You're in the same school
Right.
I was at.
Got
This is a very big
you.
deal
So
to
you
me.
knew.
I said, the next time it happens, you find a spot and a place and a time, not in front of people, and say, listen to me. I know what's happening here. You don't like me. I don't like you. But I'm asking you, let's not.
Yeah.
Because it's hurting me. It's affecting me.
Right.
I said, you say these things. You sprinkle it on your own words because he's a sharp kid.
Right.
I said, you don't got to read something, but you tell him that
With confidence.
this has got to stop. Yeah. And if it continues, I'm telling you, my cousin has already told me to tell you he's coming to talk to you.
The werewolf is coming.
It's coming. I told him I said, don't tell him I'm going to beat him up or anything. I'm not talking about, but tell him that if it happens again, that I'm not going to deal with it, but my cousin's going to deal with it. Week or two goes by. I see them 2-3 times a week at this point. Mm-hmm. And he comes of course, I'm like,
waiting.
Report.
Yeah.
He's still doing it. So that's okay. Here we go. And I'm not a big guy. Those that know me, I'm not Mr. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go put your dukes up. It's here. I knew where he lived. I knew who his family was before all this. Not to kill him, but I wanted to know.
Right.
So he says, it's happening again. I said, get in the car. We drive over to the house. We get to the house. I said, come out of the car. You walk to the door with me. He did not want to go. He was already mad that we're in the car. You can imagine he's already no, but I'm not being flagrant. Like, we're going. I'm being like, listen, no, this has to happen.
Yeah.
I wish I had somebody
to do this
because I'm going to handle this very pragmatically. Like, I'm not going to do something to dishevel your future. This is stopping. This is why we're doing this. We walked to the door. He wouldn't go any further. You know how like Palm Coast has swales. He stayed at the swale. He wouldn't go any further, which I don't blame. He couldn't. Yeah. And he's very upset with me, but I was like, no. And none of us are frailing. This wasn't forced. It was just like, we have to do this. I go to the door. I'll never forget the dad answers. And immediately, and no disrespect, but even if for some reason at any point in time, this person's listening to this, go fuck yourself. It was his attitude right away. I could tell. He gets to the door and he's like, yeah. Like, didn't even know who I am. And I'm like, I already knew who he was.
Yeah.
I said, hello, Mr. So-and-so. Do you have a son named so-and-so? Yeah. What's it to you? Kind of attitude. I'm like, sir, do you see the guy that's standing over there? That's my cousin. Very important to me. And now by this time, the son and the mom are like all like huddled at the door, like, whew. Instead of being like, because I'm coming in peace. I'm not coming with pitchforks. Right. My demeanor is, we're not leaving here in cuffs. What's it to you, etc. And I said, I can tell you. I said, and then he comes up and I said, are you so-and-so? He said, yeah. I said, well, and this is how we're going to leave here today. Mm-hmm. I said, you know him? And now this is no longer a conversation. This is me I said, if you ever, and I said in front of your parents, I say this, I said, if you ever put him in a situation again where he's being made fun of or picked on, I promise you that will be the last time, not on your own accord.
Yeah.
Because I know what it's like to feel like it is him. And he's big. He was big, sexy guy with a cooler of the genre of folk.
Right.
Cool. Was a cool guy. I could tell. I says, I know what it's like to be you now. He's not that guy. So I said, if it doesn't stop now, I promise you it's going to stop. And the dad's like, are you, the typical.
Are you threatening?
You threatening me? I said, no. I said, I'm not threatening you. I said, but I promise you I'm going to stop it. I'll go to the school.
Yeah.
It's my school.
Yeah.
I'm the alumni there. I'll go to the school. I will walk around with him. I will ruin your life.
Yeah.
I will make sure you don't get a girl for the rest of you. That's all this is about.
Yeah.
This is about the who's big dick complex.
Right.
I will make sure your dick is smaller. And I'm having this vernacular with them. Of course, it's not ending good for them, but it's ending good for me. And ultimately, I said, but before we leave, you will be apologizing to my cousin.
And did he?
100%.
And was it better after that?
No. He didn't make fun of him.
Mm.
And of course, my cousin wasn't happy about it, but it stopped. And I think making sure that people understand that picking on somebody because of a physical characteristic. And that's what it was too. It wasn't like no one goes, you're dumb scholastically. It's something. He had the same kind of, he had things that he had that were very easily picked on too. Whether it was hair or this, he had things and it was ripping my soul out.
Right.
It's like, no. Get picked on for being quiet. That's one thing.
Yeah.
But to pick on somebody's physical
that they have no control over.
I have no patience for it. So I don't know if I did the right or wrong thing, but it stopped. And I know that family to this day. And there's no irony and no disrespect to that family out there, but you guys are still miserable. And it's sad because you're probably still exercising the same practices. Stop being fucking schmucks.
Yeah.
Stop. And they were by no means were they apologetic. And I didn't come there once again going like, your son, I'm going to kill him. It's like, let's just let this go. Like your son's cool. It's great. Yeah. It's awesome. He's tall, dark, and handsome. He's perfect. He's everything that a man wants to be.
What is he gaining from acting this way?
Exactly.
People? It's not helping him in the long run. So
I tell the kids now that I coach or I was coaching or I have dialogue with that do say to me like, yeah, the so-and-so is messing with me. I go, okay, guess what? No one told me this when I was prepubescent, but they're going to pay your mortgage.
Yeah.
They're going to pay your mortgage. They will be your employees. And whether there's a hierarchy or not, they will work for you or amongst you. I promise you. I'm all about leaving and spreading your wings, but home is home. And your zip code and your passport and your tax information is going to be tied to somewhere, and it's probably going to be near around where theirs is.
Yeah.
And they don't know that yet, but be nice. And I'm so glad I can look back and all the people that picked on me and all those that even loved me, they're still all right here to some degree.
Right.
And I don't need anything from them. I still love them. But back then, I didn't speak with my fists. I didn't.
Yeah.
But anyways, don't get me going on that. Oof.
I love it.
Got me.
Well, I know who to call if I'm picked on.
Oh, I would kill somebody. I don't like that. I don't want people getting picked on. Especially those that my whole heart will I'll transform into a real werewolf boy if I find out someone's picking on somebody who has a handicap, a real handicap.
Right.
Like being hairy arms is not a handicap. Embrace it, people. But let me find out you have someone in your family or a friend of yours that you're chilling with that's picking on someone who's in a wheelchair or that I will hunt you down and I will chop off something.
There's a special place somewhere for people like that.
Did we do it?
We did it.
You look
great.
Are you gonna get sure?
We're gonna go play. Yeah. James.
You guys did good.
They did so good. You too, Chew.
You guys did very good. And
the two little
by the way, lunch was at 12 and they're like, ma'am, it's all fun and games, but
an hour past feeding time.
I love you.
I love you too.
Do you know what today's date is? Because I don't.
The 3rd
of November. I saw a funny post on social media today and it was like, they had highlighted every day in November but Thanksgiving and every day in December, and it said Christmas.
There's those people. There either are the people that want Thanksgiving and the fall stuff to stay out, or the people that just pull their Christmas stuff right out.
We don't do it anymore. I think actually this year I'm going to do a little, like hang something.
Yeah, I'll come decorate with you.
Just like a little star from the fan.
Okay.
Was the temp okay for you, by the way?
Yeah. I thought I'd be more cold, but I'm not.
People think that when they first walk in, they're like, it is 6 degrees.
Usually I have a blanket on when
but you see how you. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I love you. Goodbye.
Thank you. We love you.
Wow, 2 hours. We did it.
We did it. We had a tree last year, silly goose.
Don't look at the comments.